Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, in whom we are in great depth. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who taught me truth. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect, the GMS. This is your brother Quasiyar, and this is going to be a lengthy video because it's a two-part video that Elder selected for the interruption. Elder Monkama, and his channel is GMS Maccabees Spirit 144. And of course, I'll place the link in the description box for both videos. The thing is this, I'm using this video, specifically these two videos, for receipts, future reference, and etc., etc. And without further ado,
Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever, the would-be judges, the 144,000, the tabernacle of David, ordained to be the ruling class people here on earth, above all the nations, above all the governments, above all the races, above all other people, ordained by who the world falsely and fraudulently calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shai, always was, always will be. All right, and to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled birds, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations, that have the appearance of the heathen nations. All right, this is not a black only thing, it's an Israelite thing, and the Israelites are scattered among all people, among all races, and the Lord is coming to establish them and then set up the house of David on earth as it is in heaven. And what we're looking at here is one of those surveillance centers. They're calling it data centers, but it's surveillance centers. They love to give things fraudulent names, reclassify and name things, but it's and then they're using up all the water. You don't have clean water and this, that, and the other, and it's starting to uproar and really a distraction. Okay, and you see the desert and the gun and the wasteland. All right, stay ready, stay alive. It's the wasteland. Look at this, man. Fucking commercial. God damn it. But I'm going to play a video where a young brother's really going to break it down, and I think that he's hit the nail on the head. Okay? Because the scriptures tell you how, matter of fact, let's go to the Obadiah 1:6. And it reads, how the things of Esau searched out. How are his hidden things sought up? All right, through the holy scriptures, man. And he's always trying to distract, a wave of the hand so that you don't see the trick. And one thing, when that flashes, and it's one thing for sure, especially here in Babylon, when they flash something in your face and they keep it on television and they talk about it all the time, there's something else going on. Then I find it strange too that all of a sudden these data centers, these surveillance centers, are going to be actually military bases. They're going to be turned into military. It's going to be armed guard, military guard there. Why? And look how big that thing is next to those neighborhoods and all those homes, all those houses. All those people are not going to have water because it's all going there. And think about it. What people in their right mind would drain the water of their population, all right, if they didn't intend to completely control and rule over that population? Okay? All those homes next to that place. So where's all the water gonna go to? All the drinking water, all the, So I'm gonna, so you wonder, what is this all about? Well, they're saying that they need water to keep these things cool, and so they can, track all your information and track you, and make all those little cute, funny AI videos and entertaining AI videos. But no, they're gonna see. So here, look, I'm gonna play this video that the beloved Apostle Ramlab sent to me, and I played it and I was like, wow, this dude is really on to something, because it really it makes too much sense, especially with the merging of the military of the Israelis merging with America, and they're going to send the American troops over to the desert to die, and Israeli troops are going to take over here in America. It all makes sense because Israelis have dual citizenship. They don't really care for American or Goyim at all. So they're going to have no problem doing what needs to be done to quell and shut up the people, when they begin to uprise. So while that's playing in the background and the copyright statute, the water for the brother, because I'm going to use his video, I didn't need to call it because it was on the screen. So, and there's no sound on this either. But let me pull this up. Yeah, here we go.
What up, IG? This man right here nails it. This is what's really going on with the data centers. If you don't know, now you know.
Before he starts, mind you, there's been a massive construction, what do you call it? I'll just say project for lack of better words, okay? In America. In America, all states, they have, look around, just look around, do some research for yourself, man. They're doing constructions, right? Biden started by fixing the roads. Now, Trump, what he's doing, he mentioned it, that they need to build these data centers, right? But guess what? The roads and the data centers, the pipes that they are putting in are smaller, way smaller than what they used to use. Why? Because it's a reduction of the pipe means less water going to you, more water going towards them. Why I'm saying this? I can verify it because here where I live, there's a construction going on, and all the pipes that are going up are smaller, and they are refusing to reconnect the washing machines. Yeah, there was an uproar here, and they are connecting the washing machines, but they're not connecting the washing machines with the old type of pipe. They have a reduction. The reduction went from the half to, what was it, 3/4 to Salakia. So so I went and I checked it real quick. The one that I have and the one that they are installing are the half, and the one that I have is 3/4. All right, so it's the diameter. The diameter is a little smaller, and the pipes that they're putting are thinner, and so the water will come up with the same or even more pressure because it's a thinner pipe. But also keep in mind they can divert water elsewhere at the same time.
For the longest time, I was right there with you all. I saw these massive gray windowless concrete boxes popping up in every town, off every highway, taking over hundreds of acres of farmland. And like everybody else, at first I fell for the pitch. I thought, okay, it's mass surveillance, it's the algorithms, it's AI taking over the world, they're draining our water. It makes sense on the surface, right? That's what they want you to think. That's the shiny object they're waving in front of our faces, so we stay arguing about technology, privacy, and digital control while we completely miss the bigger play happening right under our feet. It wasn't until I stopped looking at the screens and I started looking at the physical infrastructure that the light bulb went off. The more I went down the rabbit hole, the more one single question kept burning in my mind. Why in the hell do these data centers need millions of gallons of fresh water every single day? It's a cover-up. They'll give you some slick engineered press release about evaporative cooling systems and keeping server racks from overheating. They tell you it's just the price of digital progress. Think about that for 5 seconds. You don't build massive, heavily guarded military-grade fortresses directly over top of prime regional aquifers and deep well water tables just to blow steam into the sky.
Exactly.
You don't sign secretive water utility contracts with local small town councils, draining local reservoirs dry just to keep a bunch of computer chips chilly. That's when it hit me. It's not a tech boom. It's a resource heist. They're stealing the water.
Yep.
Follow the utility lines. Follow where the heavy infrastructure is actually laid. These data centers are acting as massive above-ground cover operations. Underneath the guise of cloud storage and artificial intelligence, they are tapping directly into our clean, natural drinking water supplies. They are pumping it out of our soil, filtering it, and routing it straight down into their underground bunkers. And I'm not talking about small storm shelters. I'm talking about massive, multi-level underground cities built for the billionaire class, the corporate CEOs, and the shadowy elites who see the writing on the wall. They know the global grid is shaky. They know resource wars are coming. They know when everything goes sideways, when the supply chains shatter and the surface world turns into chaos, the single most valuable currency on earth is not Bitcoin or gold or stocks or dollar bills. It's clean drinking water. So while average hardworking people are paying sky-high water bills, watching local rivers dry up, and dealing with boiled water advisories, they are quietly hoarding billions of gallons of pure, untouched, natural spring fresh water down into underground vaults. They're stealing our resources and using data centers as a cover-up so when shit hits the fan, they flee underground. They're storing up food, they're sealing the steel doors, and prepping to sit cozy while the rest of us are left on the surface to suffer and struggle and fight over whatever crumbs are left. We can't just sit here and take this. They rely on us being too tired, too distracted, and too broke to notice what they're doing. Show up at local council meetings. Stop letting these mega corporations buy up local land in secret. Show up to your city and county zoning boards. You gotta demand total line-by-line transparency on water usage rights and utility contracts for every proposed facility. We need local independent engineers to track where those pipes are actually going. If a facility claims to be using closed-loop cooling, hold them to it. Demand public access to their water outflow metrics. Organize with your community to declare local water tables are protected public resources. If they can't run their facility without sucking the local community dry, shut down their permits. Start linking up with your neighbors now. Secure local wells, share resources, build rainwater collection systems, and stop relying on a system that is actively selling you out behind closed doors. Wake the fuck up, man. Stop looking at the cover story and start looking at the deeper issue. Start looking at the water. They are prepping for the end game, and we gotta start standing our ground before they leave us with nothing left to drink. What are we doing? You know.
So the scriptures talk about the plagues and the famine. So what you got to think about when you look, as you're looking at these things. Let's go back. As you're looking at these hues, look at that, and they're just showing you different ones around the country. And like you said, military grade. These places are now being dinged because they're building one in Chicago near the lakefront. All right, not far from where I live, a couple miles away. And now you're not going to be able to do anything that he just said because military installations don't have to open up and show anybody any damn thing. They're getting ready to make this some Mad Max Fury Road, man. Immortal Joe and his crew rolling around, fighting for water and shit. It's really about to get crazy out here. Okay? And they are going to retreat into those bunkers. Because what? Because, the collapse and WW3 is coming.
A 17-year-old black.
So, this is the book of Amos. Actually, I'm going to get Isaiah 29:15 first. I think I read it. I'll read it again, but it reads, "Warn to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?" So they really think they're slick. Because, yeah, he said to keep a chip cool, you don't need that much water, all right, to keep these things cool. That's what you have air conditioning for. This is yeah. Like he said, it's a cover, and they give you some pseudoscience spin on it, to make it sound, oh yeah, well, we need the water. We're not going to have drinking water. Yeah, you're not going to have drinking water because he's right. They more than likely are siphoning the water down into these deep underground bases that they're building all over the place, because the Epstein class, they will survive. This third world war, not the ones here in Babylon though, but they're building these bunkers to run and hide in. And the scriptures speak about how the Lord is going to send the angels in the minute of the Lord after they've been changed to go pull them out of those things. This is Amos 9:2. And it reads, though they dig into hell, meaning the ground, that's all hell is, shawal, the ground, the earth. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. So someone gonna try to jump and go up to those space stations they have in Leo, in low Earth orbit, because they can't go beyond Leo. They can't go past the Van Allen belt. You know, so that whole lie about moon missions and all that crap, they can't go past the Van Allen belt, man. So they've never been there and never will. They'll never see the moon outside of looking up at it from the sky, man. Okay, so how do we know these things? Because of the eyesight. The Lord gave us understanding and wisdom. All right, and I don't have any 100% proof. That guy doesn't have 100% proof, but through the Spirit, you can clear. This is exactly what it is. And like I said, what other reason would they militarize or make the militarized zones now? So you can't, and so military doesn't have to open up and show the public any goddamn thing. You know, Jake, you know, and people, these Babylonians think that they can march their way and complain and do petitions, man. Look, Esau ain't man, he don't give a damn about your petition. He don't give a damn about none of that. This is Baruch 3:32. And it reads, but he that knoweth all things knoweth her, and he hath found her out, and his understanding. He that prepared the earth forevermore hath filled it with a 4-footed beast. Going to 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge. He hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved, who are all the prophets, or what? Israelites. Amos 3:7. It reads, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Okay? That's why we understand these things. And we're able to take current news and put it to prophecy. And if it doesn't line up with prophecy, you know, then it's probably not true. But this actually lines up perfectly with prophecy. And I believe that this is exactly what those things are. I you know, the surveillance is real, but it's also a cover to take all the, you know, get as many supplies as they can to protect the you know, the Epstein class, the elites, and go down into the underground bunkers in cities. You know, and I'm willing to bet if you were able to, because like I said, they won't allow any independent engineers and things of that nature to track and trace the water lines and the power lines to see where they're going. And yeah, and they're probably going right to right under these mountains and right down into the ground.
You know who they're using? They're using undocumented people or people who are coming or who are here who don't speak English, and they can follow orders without question. Why? Because look around. They can kick them out of the country whenever they want. Look around.
Mount Weather and all these other underground, you know, they got thousands of miles of tunnels underground to travel back and forth. Whole cities. Okay. And meanwhile, you know, the nations are being gathered in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and Judah is being roused up. So I'm gonna play maybe about 5 or 6 minutes of this brother's video from the Hopeful Elect, and you know, EU in trouble, man, on every stage and every aspect of life. For you is about to get bad. All right, because the world is onto you, and that's the thing. When Esau is exposed, he's going to use his media to project and push the blame game on everyone else. All right, he's going to distract and lie and project his wickedness onto other people's to take the focus off of him.
Hey, so listen. Normally, I'm not real radical minded about anything. Normally, I'm not real upset about a lot of stuff. I mainly try to stay out of all type of racist shit, all type of racist bullshit. I normally try to stay out of that type of stuff, and I'm a pretty easygoing person. But this Nolan Wells case, not only has it made me sad, pissed me off, and infuriated me, but it just makes me understand more of how this country sees black and brown people. And my message is going to be clear, short, sweet, and concise. It couldn't be my child. Couldn't have been my son. I'm gonna let some of y'all read between the lines on that, because if it were, I wouldn't be the only one that had some flower bringing and slow singing in my family.
And you know what? You know, the scripture says, you know, it says that vengeance is the Lord's. And so we really have to stand on that. But I feel him, you know. And the water how about you shot, you know, I raised my sons. They know what time it is. All right. But I honestly can't say, you know, that yeah. some of that Marine Corps training would probably come in. I'm just, you know, that's a rough one, man. You know, and I would just have to pray to the Lord to give me the strength to, and that's what you know, we have to wait on the Lord, man. But I understand, you know, and if any man did react that way, let me rephrase that statement, because the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. But if any man did react that way, I couldn't even be mad at him. You know, right? I couldn't. Because, yeah. But let him go. Let him cook.
My mentality now going forward, can't speak for nobody else. It's an eye for an eye. Like real shit, real talk. If you're offended by my words, I'm sorry.
Those are the Lord's words.
But the racist stuff that black people continue to endure in this country at the hands of evil white men and women. And I'm not.
So you got to understand too, you Edomites out there, because there's no such thing as white people or black people. All right. But you Edomites out there, you know, the law was not done away with. The Old Testament is not done away with. And it is eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. And according to the scriptures, Revelation 18, chapter 18 and 6, you know, y'all can get double.
Talking about all white people, because all white people are not good and all black people are not good. I'm talking about the evil, sinister, racist, white supremacist people that are still out here hunting black and brown people, taking our lives like it's like just for sport, like it's just something to do. Y'all hadn't fucked with the right people yet. You really haven't. And you got this dude in office that empowered y'all, and y'all not gonna like the way a lot of this shit is going to end. You just really not. And you think that you want that.
To see, one of the things, like I said, you know, they get ready to send all your sons and daughters off, and then they merge the military, and they're gonna send them foreign soldiers over here from that have dual citizenship, and they coming after you, good old boys. You know, so it's about to be some Edomites, some Christian-owned J-ish, you know, violence about to be some white on white violence. On top of the fact that Judah is getting roused up. This shit is getting ready to be a free-for-all, man. Because the scripture says so.
That smoke, you really don't. I think it was Langston Hughes that said, black people, meek and mild, beware the day they change their minds. Black folks have been done wrong so many times in our life, so many decades in our life. And y'all know, I'm talking to the evil people that know. Y'all know the only thing we gonna damn do majority of the time is pray.
These demons are
But then there are those of us out here that believe in something totally different, an eye for an eye. Because
constantly,
as this country keeps showing us who it is, I think it's time for us to show them who we are and can be.
I'm gonna have to pause this. So I don't know if you can still hear it, but they decided to they were doing the horn thing, but they decided to blow that trumpet that they have right in front of my door, man, right in front of my window. Damn.
Like I said, y'all just ain't fucked with the right person yet, or the right family. Because I guarantee you, I just got off a conversation with somebody, and they said maybe some type of race war is needed. You know, and I didn't really understand that at first, because I figured, I believe that's what this country is trying to do, is trying to bait us into a race war. You know, but that may need to happen just for people to understand that they're not invincible, just for other people to understand that.
And see, the scriptures talk about that, and the scripture says that, you know, a lot of Jakes are going to die in this, but Judah will get the upper hand. Esau's going to lose this. See, the Bible has already determined the winner, and in the end, the so-called white people lose, because they think they're just going to become just against Judah, which they've lied, you know, with their statistic of 13%, when it's way more. It's way more than that. Plus, you know, the ones that are Judah don't look like Judah. Plus, the northern kingdom, and even some of the heathens that really don't have that got no love for Esau, Edom here in this country. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy out here, man. Jacob's trouble is gonna go full blown, man. Just like World War III is going to go full blown, because it's here. It started. All right, we're in the third woe. It just haven't gone full blown yet. This is Second Ezra 16. And I'm going to start at 17. I'm in Ecclesiastes. I meant to go to Second Ezra, Salakia. And it reads, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? All right? Because also this scripture can also be used to confirm the regeneration, reincarnation. Because, you know, Ezra is there. He knows he's going to be there when all this is going down. Okay? And that's why he says, woe is me, who's going to deliver me in those days? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, and beginnings of famine and great death, and the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these things shall come? So, you know, the powers, meaning the governments, the men, the military, the law enforcement, they're going to be feared and scared themselves. All right? How wild? Because you got to remember, America is the most heavily armed civilian population on the planet. Right. And you know, and they're taking everything from people, and you know, Gerald Celente have been saying it for years in his broadcast. You know, when people got nothing else to lose, they lose it. and you got a huge veteran population. You have a huge hunter population. You have a huge racist population. All right, and a lot of all the different groups that I've just named, a lot of them have military and they gunmanship. They understand how to handle weapons. So this is going to be a different civilian population collectively, all right, than other populations. Then you got the gang elements in America. All right, what happens when they click up? And a lot of them also have military training and things of that nature. All the different cartels that are here, man, it's going to be crazy. All right. It says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay. So the Lord is doing these things to jack you people up. Part of your payment. He's not going to let you just, take one of the head when you don't even see it coming and you just lights out and go to the spirit world. No, he going to let you starve and be afraid that you get beat up and mistreated. Watch your wife and your daughter get raped. Watch your son get put to death. Watch your son get raped. Okay? People about to go through it.
We've been there.
Okay, so the only way to the kingdom is through the straight gate. So ain't no rapture. He said those who endure to the end. Everybody has to go through this.
Always been there.
Behold, victuals shall be sold cheap upon the earth, and they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword and famine and great confusion. It's gonna be and the modern day sword is arms, whether it be a rifle or a sidearm. And in some cases, literal swords. People are going to have knives and swords and machetes.
Don't forget the flashing waters.
Watch those that series of movies. Why can't my mind going blank on The Purge? And even the Purge series, they have 2 seasons.
Elder. Guess what? The enemy can keep it quiet and come up behind you. He don't have to shoot you. He don't have to do that. If he can get close enough to you and not alert, the others you're with, he will poke you with something like a what you call it? Let's just say the jump shot. Okay, one of them little jammies.
Television series, man. Man, I'm telling you, boy. It says, for many of them shall dwell upon earth, shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So you either gonna die, you're gonna starve to death, or you're gonna die by the sword, but somebody taking your food and supplies for you, or die by the sword because they're gonna take you and make you the food. Cannibalism is coming back. All right, people gonna be eating people, man. The dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. So I can only imagine the stink from the bodies that die, and people putting the bodies out. People shitting and pissing in buckets and then dumping it in the alleys, and the disease and it's gonna be ooh-wee. It's gonna get bad out here, man.
When you unalive one person, you can be unalive as well. That's the point that we've gotten to. This country has never been for black and brown people. It will never be for black and brown people. And I'm all about. I'm a Christian hearted man. I'm all about praying. I posted something earlier that when David, there would have been those of us today and even back then have been like, oh, David, we need you to pray for Goliath, that Goliath changed his ways. No, I'm sure David prayed, and the same God that was with us now was with him back then. David probably prayed and said, I'm going to take out this big ass rock And he took it out, put it in his sheet, and he let it fly. And he bust Goliath inside his goddamn head.
Yep. And then he ran upon him and took Goliath's sword and took his head off. That's the rest of the story. All right. Took the spoils. You know, it's been a while since I read it, but I think he took his sword, maybe his spear too. But nevertheless, he took Goliath's head, man, as a trophy, and as a sign of disrespect to them damn heathens, to them damn African Philistines. Because you know the Philistines, or sons of Ham. That's another thing. I had that conversation with somebody today. I don't want to divert away from the lesson though, but yeah, he took his damn head, man.
If our giant is white supremacy, okay,
bust it. That giant needs to get busted in his head with that big ass rock, and then it's gonna get his head taken off when it goes down. That's what time it is, and that's what's about to happen. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." So they're gonna be kicking in doors, marauders. Watch that that trailer of Dog Stars. Okay? That scene when he's sitting there in the dark, drinking on something, sipping on something, a hot beverage, and then on his screen, all those red dots, which were heat signatures. And when you saw how many of them was, and they were coming They were coming to rape, rob, murder, kill, maraud, take the food, take the water, rape and pillage. All right. But he had the upper hand because he was sitting there with his swords in his hand, with his night vision goggles, and then his swords had been zeroed. And he was taking everything out in the dark.
Like the elder. Another thing I want to add to that is that Esau Edom is building the data centers. He's putting away the water for himself. Whatever water is left, that is the one that you have, these soldiers are going to come want to take it.
Okay? Because you're going to have fools that bring machetes to gunfights. But one thing's for sure, everybody going to run out of bullets.
Eventually.
All right? Then you're going to have to get up close. In the Marine Corps, when you get to the part about the kicking and stabbing, hooking and jabbing, when you get to that part. All right? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And a man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation." So, all you preppers out there that announced to the whole world that you were prepping, and dug up your driveways and put bunkers in it, and stuck it with food, and your whole neighborhood saw you doing it. Dig up your backyard and stick 3 or 4 shipping containers and make them into little bunkers under in your backyard. All your neighbors know, and they coming for you. Or they gonna run their mouth to some of those marauders, and then they coming for you to say their own ass. All right, he gonna punk out on you. Tom next door, he's got a bunker, and he's gonna rat you out, man. So dark days ahead, man. So with that, I hope this was an edifying lesson. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakah HaKodash Kwam.
So like I said, this is part 2. This is actually another video that the elder did.
Shalom. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers that's doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever, the would-be judges, the 144,000, the tabernacle of David, ordained to be the ruling class people, the ruling class government over all races, all governments here on earth, under the authority of who the world falsely and fraudulently calls JC. His name is Yahushai. Always was, always will be. And he's coming back to set up the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel who have yet to be set up to be the judges and the teachers of all mankind, and on earth as it is in heaven, as the scriptures say. The true leaders of all mankind under the authority of the Lord, who happen to be primarily the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And I know that stings and makes some of you so mad, especially you pale males. All right. And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled birds, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that have the appearance of the heathen. All right, including some of you pale people. All right, this is not a black only thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth and to take a straight up boo-boo on Edomite superiority, on so-called white superiority, which is based upon lies, fraud, sabotage, murder, rape, robbery, all of that. Pseudosciences, all right? You know, pseudoscience meaning false, for those of you who don't know what that word means. They fabricate numbers, fabricate statistics, and they project their own wickedness onto everyone else. And they definitely have a penis in envy. To a time now that they're attacking the male members chemically now. Hence the reason why so many ED disorders and ED medicines. This was done by, you know, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He figured he's already inferior in the sexual department, so he's just going to make an even playing field by doing it to everyone else. All right, masculinity is under attack. And it's not by feminism. It's actually by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He's the one that's behind all this. Okay. So, in this video, this is the Lord. This video here is just a backdrop video with the pretty light-skinned, light brown sister here. All right, going in on this clown, Larry Daughtery, who's basically guilty of everything I just said. All right, it's, you know, I'm doing a video. It wasn't about this guy. Well, I guess it was a roundabout way, being he's an Edomite. But it was about Edomites and the ones that do the things that he does. And that just happened to pop up in my algorithm. So it's perfect. So we'll probably play this video last. I already had a video that was set to be last where this the sister goes in on Esau, Edom, all the heathen, and everyone who has something to say about it. She lights them up. All right. And the sister is highly intelligent. But this video was a video that Apostle Ramlab sent to me about a Haitian scholar who, you know, proved what we always say. When given the even playing field, no matter what it is, if it's scholastics, if it's combat sports, you know, or if it's some, you know, weak sport where men play with balls, all right? And by balls, I mean football, basketball, baseball, you know, nothing sexual. Don't get weird, all right? But because I'm more of a combat sport guy. Those other sports are just soft. But, you know, but whatever it is, whatever the sport is, when Jake is given the opportunity to play, they outdo Esau. Remember one of their favorite games, which is Edomite dominated now. Well, that's because, like everything else, they commandeered it. That will be hockey. Hockey was created by, you know, Jake's so-called black men All right. Out of Nova Scotia, out of Canada. All right. So everything that's great about them, they got from us. Okay. To be truthfully said, there's really nothing great about them except for their ability to lie, scheme, rape, murder, and steal land. At that, they're the the reigning champions, undefeated, right? When it comes to orchestrating and signing, wicked laws into order and oppressing people, they are the reigning, undefeated, pedophile, rape, murderous, robbers. They're the undefeated champions, man. So let me get the scripture to start, and then I'm gonna start playing these videos. All to the condemnation of Esau, Edom, the pale man, who refers to himself as white or Caucasian today. All right, every so many hundreds of years they change their name, trying to duck and dodge the Edomite title vocab. You are the Edomites. The Romans were Edomites. The J-ish are Edomites. All right, it says it in their own scholars say it in their own books. But this is a time that we're living in right here, right now, where the truth is coming into the world. This is 2 Ezra 6:27, and it reads, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And that's what's going on. The truth has not been declared. Now it's being declared. Okay? So, you know what? Just to be on the safe side, let's just have it at this point. Let's read the copyright statute. Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So here we go. And we're off. So this is the video that the apostle sent me, Apostle Ramlab. So we're going to start with his. And it speaks for itself, and I'll just, add a couple scriptures at the end of it. But here we go. Come on, man.
With science, and they banned his book because they couldn't argue back.
There we go.
Did you know a Haitian scholar completely destroyed European racism with science? And they banned his book because they couldn't argue back? 1885. European scientists were spreading lies about black people being inferior to justify slavery and colonialism. They measured skulls, weighed brains, and created fake intelligence tests. Then Joseph Antoine Firmin stepped up. This brilliant Haitian intellectual, educated in Paris, wrote The Equality of the Human Races. He used Europe's own university data against them. Firmin proved their brain measurements were completely made up. He showed how African civilizations built mathematical wonders that surpassed European achievements. The pyramids, advanced astronomy, complex architecture, all created by the very people Europeans claimed were inferior. His takedowns were so devastating that European academics couldn't fight.
So, I have to add this because I know that the Israelites, at the beginning, when Joseph was there, they were not slaves. They became slaves afterwards. All right? So, you have to think about certain things because Esau, Edom, no matter how much we speak, it is Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai at the end of the day who's going to level the score.
Back, so they did what cowards do. They banned his book and refused to debate him. Here's the crazy part. Modern human rights law and anthropology still use Firmin's arguments today. This Haitian genius became the father of anti-racism science decades before the civil rights movement. Haiti leading the world in intellectual revolution too. Like and follow for more. Did you know a Haitian scholar completely destroyed your...
And Salakia, because I have to correct myself because I did say something. Well, there were some slaves because they were slaves in Egypt. All right. The pyramids were built with people who wasn't slaves and people who were slaves. All right, and this is debatable. All right, it is very debatable because there is a documentary. There is a documentary proving by Esau Edom himself that there were caves, or there are caves. They dug up caves nearby where the pyramids were built, and the people were so-called blacks, and they were very healthy, extremely healthy. They had injuries that would heal properly. All right, this is document proof. Look it up. I don't know where it is. I don't know where if that video still exists, but it shouldn't be too hard to find. You should look these things up. It was later after Joseph, you know, I don't know how long after Joseph, but yeah, that we were forced to work, by the whip, and then the Lord had to come and rescue us.
So Anton messed him up, man. He proved Esau Edom to be the weak liar with his pseudoscience and his lies, his false statistics per capita that he's always spewing out. Okay? To try and justify the wickedness that he does, or try to cover up. So this is Job 13:4. And it reads, "But you are all forgers of lies. You are all physicians of no value." You know, the saying that we have, how do you know that an Edomite is lying? They're talking. They open their mouth. No matter how much truth they tell, some lies are going to pop out. So when you find an Edomite lying, tell the truth, that's a very rare thing. Or they may not be an Edomite. Okay? Remember, our people are among them because of the scattering. Okay? We got scattered among them. You can't be scattered among an Edomite nation, all right, and remain looking like, you end up being light complected like sister girl here. Or sometimes you end up looking like an Edomite. If your father is injecting his manliness into an Edomite woman, eventually some of his children are going to look like her. That's how that happens. Okay? The same way that they did it to us. There's a lot of chocolate Edomites running around. As a matter of fact, it's probably more chocolate Edomites. With the amount of rape that was going on a constant basis to our women, there's a whole lot of chocolate Edomite. Just because you got melanin in your skin don't mean you're an Israelite. Okay? The father carries the seed. Remember that. That's another lesson. Okay? The father carries your racial makeup, not your mother, despite what you may look like on the outward appearance. Let's continue.
Yeah, I want to add to that because the spirit of Jake will not live among Esau Edom today. All right. There's so-called blacks. I mean, really, really, really dark skin, right? Who proclaim that they are Jewish, right? And they hang around Jewish synagogues, and they believe the stuff that they believe. All right. They deny Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And that's documented proof.
Okay, let's go to another video with this Edomite girl. She stayed shaming them and exposing them to the point I think they're eventually going to try to do something to this little chick. I have to go to my other channel for that one. I saved that on my other channel. And just bear with me a moment.
I was telling the elder at camp last week, the Lord saves the best for last. And who's to say that when all hell breaks loose, they don't snatch her? I mean, come on. Maybe even before that.
There you are. I forget her name. She's really popular, very well known. And yeah, she loves, you know, she loves chocolate. She loves their chocolate bar. She would much rather, you know, choke on a Snickers than not choke on something pale. But here we go. It's
story for you. One of my friends was dating this guy. I don't think white men are obsessed with black men. I have a story for you. One of my friends was dating this guy back in California, and when they were hooking up, he literally told her to say Black Lives Matter. And she was like, what the fuck? Because this guy was like a leftist, or he was left-leaning. And she literally stopped and pulled her out of the moment. She was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, like, I need you to say that, or I need you to say that, like, you've dated black men in the past, and like, I'm nothing compared to them. And these men have like humiliation kinks, and they enjoy being compared to black men because it's a sexual thing for them. And it just shows how much sexual fetishes are shaped by racism. Because white men, even though they're on the left, that are using this as a way to get off, it's very, very uncomfortable. And it shows how deeply this fetishization is rooted in white culture.
About a month ago, a bunch of Italian women came out to expose this man, Matteo Ruggieri. What was his crime? He pays them to talk shit, to make racist voice notes denigrating black men, and they send it to him. And then he masturbates to those, and he sends it back. Well, the reason I'm showing this is...
he came with receipts.
This is white men. Everything about black men versus white men has always been sexual, right? Let me point this out. Everything men do in this world is for vagina. Everything every single man does in this world is for vagina. 1. 2, the men who have now conquered the world, who everything we do is for vagina, have one race of men they can never compete with when it comes to vagina. Black men. The whole racism, obsession, lynching, they used to cut black men's dicks and put it in their throats. It was all about sexual ineptitude. So now I need to ask black men a question. Now that we know all of this about these men, what do you think these men do when they meet a woman who's willing to say, oh, black men ain't shit, I hate black men, white men are better? What do you think those men, what do you think those men do? A lot of black women don't understand. The reason you have access to a lot of white men today is because you're willing to talk shit about black men, and it turns them on. And I know every time I see a black woman with a white man, in my head, I know they engage in role play in sex. He makes her talk shit about black men, and she does it willingly, and that turns him on, it turns her on, and it's a match made in heaven.
I don't think white men are obsessed with black men.
That brings to mind this scripture, because this one's supposed to be about Eve, but we got to get it. And yeah, and that was a bunch of that right there was a bunch of Edomites, you know, trying to rap like Jake. Although some of them actually might be Jake, but either way it goes, you know, they're definitely at colonizing culture vultures. Either way, but this is Micah 7 and 10. Yeah, 7 and 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where's Yahweh thy power? You know, where's your Yahweh? Where's your God at? Where's your sky daddy? All right. Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Mire means shit. You know how when horses would ride in the road and they just take a dump while they were trotting along or pulling the cart, and then the rest of the carts and the people just trample right over it. That's how these women that are lying up with these Edomites, that's the end result for a lot of them. Okay? And they're too stupid to realize they're being used. You know, but that's their problem. Okay, so this was a surprise. Let's see the culture vultures who actually might be Jake.
Have you ever dated a black guy?
Oh wow. Hold on.
With them 16s, we gon' put some shots on them. I send a little thong to send the drop on him. She gon' call me up and I'ma stick the hearts on him. Grimy savage, that's what we are. Grimy shooters dressed in G-Star. GS, not I go so.
This dude actually might be Jake. But here we go.
You ever dated a black guy?
I've not dated a black guy, but I've hooked up with black guys. I've hooked up with, in my later years when I got out of the Midwest, I was like, oh, really not even attracted to white guys anymore.
Have you ever dated a black guy?
Okay.
I'm not dating a black
You see
guy.
what I mean? So that's just it, man. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Esau is angry and he's jealous, you know, and Jake is taking over. We were leaving well, I won't say the name, but we were leaving the spot in River North yesterday, the Warrior spot where the Warriors go, and it's right in the middle of the club district. All right, so when we came out, you know, me and the brother walked out, you know, it was nothing but snow bunnies everywhere. And I can only imagine what happened when the bros walked out behind me, you know, all swollen, sweaty, leaving the spot, you know. And it's all eyes on you. Okay? On my way there when I walked through. You know, we refer to that as the Blade here because it's just a hot club and bar area right here in Chicago. You know, and it just so happens to be that, you know, one of the jiu-jitsu groups that we're actually joined to. We have a coalition where we go and cross-train with each other to prepare for fights and things like that. Just happen to be in that area. Okay? And I saw with my own eyes the wondering eyes, you know, as I walked through. And I'm older now. But, you know, I saw the wondering eyes of these Edomite women, even when they're sitting there with their men. All right, so Esau just cannot compete. And he hates us and he's jealous of us. He really is. And the real problem lies with him. So let me go. Hold on. Let me go find the next video. That might be on the other one. But I'll play this one instead. And I'll play this one and plus that other one. But this is a video about, you know, grape, pedophilia, and crimes, you know, being done by them, by pale males. What's this one right here?
What you gonna do, Audrey? No,
Oh, yeah. We'll get to her later. Them three little bitches. But here.
Just in case you motherfuckers didn't know and didn't hear this, I'm gonna tell you. There are children in the ICE detention centers that have been there for 5 months that are testing positive for pregnancy and determined to be 3 months pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what that means? Considering the only people that have access to them are ICE agents. You know what that means?
Pale males mostly.
You know what that means? We are paying pedophiles to kidnap and assault children in America.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have a pedophile president. Yeah. Isn't life great? Isn't it fucking great?
Yeah. And now that she said it, you know, someone might say, well, she's just talking shit. No, we're gonna find some receipts for you. Let me go back to the other one. Oh, yeah, this one. The water. So let's get the sound.
Article like this. Think about it. Oh, what type of person would write an article like this? Think about it. Oh, that's right. It's a part of their religion.
Yeah.
Sander in 54b. A Jew may have sex with a child as long as the child is less than 9 years old. Tospot Jebamuth, 84b. If you eat with a goy is the same as eating with a dog. Baba Mazia, 24a. If a Jew finds an object lost by a goy, it does not have to be returned. Go for him. 15.
Land.
Even the best of goyim should all be killed. Yebamoth, 98.
Go to war for them.
All children of goyim are animals. Baba Mazia, 114b. Gentiles goys are not humans. They are beasts. Geshaz 2. A Jew may violate but not marry a non-Jew girl.
So I just stumbled upon that video and I'm like, God damn, there's infighting. And why is a white Christian male saying pedophilia is Jewish religion? It's a white culture.
Exactly.
White Christian males are the number one consumers of child porn in America. They're the number one perpetrators of child porn in America.
And the J-ish is providing it for them. Okay? And they're house divided, and now they're pointing fingers at each other. He's pointing fingers at, and we've been calling them, that we've been telling you they're Edomites. They're at war with one another. A lot of white Christian males are pointing out and bringing out these facts. We've been telling you all along. All right. And they'll scream, the whole and they'll throw up the anti-shield when you bring it out. But that's in their book. These people claiming to be the people of the Bible, yet they worship from a whole nother book outside of the Bible, and the Bible forbids that. Okay? Let's get some scriptures to back that up. And that female, that J-ish female that wrote the article, that is a very unattractive, undesired specimen. No wonder she wants little children. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. That's the Holy Bible, not the Talmud. None of these shall fail, none of the prophecies. None shall want her mate. You can't match another book up with the Bible and then claim to be the people of the Bible. For my mouth it hath commanded it, and his spirit it has gathered them. All right, the Lord gathered the scriptures together and left here what we needed to know. Okay. This is Ecclesiastes 12:12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study and weariness of the flesh. So don't forget about these other books. The Talmud goes back to Babylon. It has nothing to do with the Israelites, yet this is the book that they uphold. The rabbis must be mastery of. All right, and that Christian was pointing it out. But at the same time, as we're seeing, Christian white males like Larry Daughtery, they're the main they're pedos as well, and rapists and as well, and commit violent crimes as well. Okay, there's no getting around that. It is what it is. These people are sick. It's like I was just putting a footnote at that scripture so I wouldn't forget it. And then lastly, as you see, this covers another topic that I've been talking about for the last couple years, how about the last 5 or 6 actually, the war between Judaism and Christianism, and how that war is ignored by people like Vocab Malone, but they're clear as a war because you got rabbis throwing Christians under the bus as being the Edomites, and then you have Edomites like Pastor Rich Tidwell throwing the J-ish under the bus, showing you that they are the Edomites. But this is Mark 3:23, and it reads, and he called unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. That house, that race, that people. And if a house be divided, see, a house is a race of people. All right. A bloodline, a name. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. That's why the northern kingdom split from the southern kingdom. And once we split, we fail. You can't stand once you split. Lord then set it up that way. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. So that Edomite pointing out, the J-ish lady writing the article, trying to uphold and basically cover for, pedo activity among her own race and religion, he's guilty of the same crimes, and they're the same people. All right, different tribes are the same, are the same race. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, been a while since I read it, but I think Esau had 12 sons too. But anyway, that's not even that important. Now, you're Edomite, you're Edomite. I'm not going to change the lesson up and go search that out, but I'll do something on that later, Lord's will. But oh yeah, this sister cooked them. I got to go to her video, and then we'll end with sister right here destroying Larry Daughtery. Okay. So this person probably should have kept their mouth shut. All right. So this, I got to go back. Hold on. Where's my little chocolate sister at? And this sister is highly educated. I think she spoke 4 languages just in this video alone. All right. Because people tried to come against her for what she said about pale males being the problem. Okay. So this sound is up.
The fucking rest, because I see my video went viral yesterday. Y'all got a lot of issues with me telling you that there's not a group of Russians or Chinese that are found in the fucking Epstein file.
No, there isn't.
Да, я говорить по-русски, сука, лошадь. Как дела, bitch? Now let's get something clear, you fucking ignorant buffoons.
Now I have to say
or
it,
anybody
man.
and everybody that missed it
Now,
on these videos.
my guy, hold on. My guy that
let's put this the fucking
that
rest.
helps me with my law stuff.
Before he continues, if you didn't know, she spoke in Russian, and I believe it was Chinese afterwards.
He's not as brown complexion as she is. He's a lighter shade of brown. But my man's is a kung fu master, and he also can speak Cantonese and Mandarin. And it just woos people, out of nowhere. We happen to be around some Chinese people when we're, in the courthouse or anywhere, when we're doing that stuff. And all of a sudden he just starts speaking and I just find it, and he's an older guy now, he's older than me. But it just melts the women, the way they just be like putty in his hand. All right. So when, Jake is something special, man. We truly are, as the scriptures say, the salt of the earth, man. All right. So here we go. Let me play that again. She made me think about him when she switched from Russian to I don't know if it was Mandarin or Cantonese, but she gonna cook these Edomites. Listen closely. All right. Because she came against someone and said Russia's the most evil country in the world. That's the propaganda that pushed it here in America. America is the most evil country in the world, and America is just a puppet for the Israelis. The Russian government, I'm not saying that the angels over there, Salakia, but they don't do the things to their people, pollute the land, attack their men's masculinity with chemical food to damn near castrate them, where they have to take ED pills and all that other bullshit. They're not doing all that in Russia. And the Russians exposed the dark icons, the brown icons of the Lord from the Dark Ages, which the ones in the Edomites here in the West, in Europe, and in the West here in America tried to hide. Now, here we go.
I see my video went viral yesterday. Y'all got a lot of issues with me telling you that there's not a group of Russians or Chinese that are found in the fucking Epstein file. Да, я говорить по-русски, сука, лошадь. Как дела, bitch? Now let's get something clear, you fucking ignorant buffoons. For anybody and everybody that missed it on these videos, y'all are sitting here and saying that Russia is this bad country and China is this bad country. Bitch, we got presidents that are eating fucking children.
Yes.
That was the goddamn point. On top of that, you're bringing up what he's doing in Ukraine when Ukraine was currently on the tier 2 of human rights violation before 2014, when Obama started sending weapons in that area. So you should probably think about becoming a part of NATO. I know that we currently had a gentleman's agreement of 1991 between the Soviet Union and everybody else, but we currently ignored all of that as soon as we currently went east past the Berlin Wall. Danke, bitch! And on top of that, for anybody that does not know about that gentleman's agreement in 1991, when the Soviet Union was ceased to exist and 18 countries existed at NATO, they said that they wouldn't go east of the Berlin fucking wall, and they ignored that and added about 12 other motherfucking countries. Don't you ever bring up Georgia or Tbilisi, bitch. I got that. I'll punch you straight in your face. Because while you're talking about Russia, Germany and everybody else in the West has not accepted Georgia into the EU or into fucking NATO, you bum bitch. And instead of you doing the research that you're not getting from propaganda, because all you motherfuckers are speaking English. Not Russian, not Mandarin, not Cantonese, not Taiwanese, not anything in between to show me that you know how to do more research than the propaganda that you've been fed.
Ooh.
Yes, sweetheart, Russia and China has never attacked the United States of America. Let's get that done. The reason why more assets and more deals are done with Africa, with Russia and China, because they didn't practice slavery to that motherfucking degree. Do you know why? Because the Chinese were born here in the United States of America during the Silk Road, and you motherfuckers didn't know that.
Yep.
Because Indians were born here as fucking slaves, and so were the Chinese, you bum bitch. And instead of you doing research outside of the United States or even leaving this goddamn country to see what the fuck is true or not, you're sitting here on TikTok going back and forth with strangers. You fucking idiots. So squeeze me with all of that, because la rompete la cara del tuyo y cada día no me importa, estoy lista a pelear con y cada persona tiene un problema conmigo. Are you stupid? Are you dumb?
Yes, they are.
Last but not least, bitch. The next time you want to bring up a situation of China and Russia, make sure the motherfuckers are on all the lists and all the millions that have currently unalived people in Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, motherfucking the Solomon Island. Tell me how many times they practiced on the Puerto Ricans. Tell me why the Japanese were allowed to use and conduct Unit 731 and then we took their motherfucking information. And last but not least, bitch, it wasn't Russia or China that started the Holocaust. It was the West. Not a goddamn country came in and helped them at all. And let's be very clear, it was Russia that was dropping tips about the Epstein files almost 10 years ago, and you motherfuckers didn't say anything. I was a child. You don't give a fuck about children. You give a fuck about your empty-ass pockets. Now stitch that, bitch. Every single one of you. Stop fucking with me. Let's put this...
They should have never... They woke up a fucking giant. She cooked the shit out their ass. Bravo. That might be YouTube... Instagram video of the year. She tore their ass up. Ain't no Edomite, no so-called white person got shit to say. What every Edomite should be doing right now is just hanging their head in shame. You shouldn't have shit to say. Now let's put some icing on that cake and we'll be done with it.
Disorderly conduct and domestic assault. Welcome back to Racist Gotta Racist. Today's episode features Larry Wayne Doherty. Larry commented on my video about the sweet Nolan Wells and said, "This audio does not prove murder. The audio proves that he died from being too intoxicated. You dumb effing low IQ sub-Saharan African." Larry, you called me low IQ?
Now, the first video we played destroyed that lie. Okay? The Jakes that came here to America were not from Africa. They were from Asia. You dumb fucking crap. Edomite pieces of shit. All right? Your lies have been dismantled. The people that were brought to the Americas from West Africa originally came from Asia, from a place that you now call today Israel or Palestine. That's where they came from. They didn't come from Africa. Just like the sister said, do some fucking research, you stupid motherfuckers. Excuse my French, but not really.
That's interesting. Let's have a look at the resume that you are bringing to the conversation. Because from where I'm sitting, your life has been less intellectual powerhouse and more a Florida man news title. Let's start back in 2011. Arrested for mischief.
Fat boy.
Then 2015, disorderly conduct and domestic assault.
He did lose a little weight.
Isn't that white on white crime? Funny how crime statistics only matter when you are talking about black people. 8 months later, you're arrested again for vandalism. We're really building a collection here. Let's keep going. Then we slide into 2019, where you are so organized and responsible that you fail to appear for court. Now, I'm going to cut you some slack though, Larry. You probably didn't know what day it was. Looking at your mugshot, you were pretty high. Then 2021 rolls around. Larry, what happened? The before and after photos look like meth entered the chat and never left. Drugs did not age you very well. Neither did racism. But guess what? Somehow we're still not done. 2022, resisting arrest. 2023, arrested again. 2024, still making terrible life choices. Guess what? I've never been arrested. Meanwhile, you're out here calling black people low IQ. Sir, your criminal record is all low IQ activities.
The fact, and it's not even that, it's lie IQ, sweetie. And the fact that he's referring to people as black is a lack of there is no such thing as black people. All right, which is something you all you people out there need to make that adjustment. Black is a false social construct. You can't claim to have a high IQ and still be referring to people as black. They made that shit up, just like they did white. She is brown, and Larry, bitch ass, a fucking drug addict piece of shit, is pale pink. He's red. Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Like a hairy garment. The garments were dyed red. Edomites are red. Their blood shows forth through their skin. Some are redder than others. All right, but they're all red. You smack the shit out one of them, they turn real red. They exhaust themselves, they turn really red. They get sick, they turn really red. They go in the sun, they turn extremely red. That is the characteristic of Edomites. The Lord put a mark on them so you know who they are. Outside of the ones that are, speckled birds. They're of another race because their father is something else. All right. This is Ezekiel. Last scripture. I read this yesterday, but I read it to 8. I'm going to read it all the way to 9 now. Ezekiel 35 and 5. And it reads, actually, I'm going to start at verse 1. Ezekiel 35 and 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. That means speak against Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know, the ones who made up that shit, call themselves Caucasian, now call themselves white. The pale people, who primarily, not every one of them, but primarily are Edomites, trying to duck in damn Mount Seir. That was their original home. That was the first mountains, caves they came from was Mount Seir before they got pushed up into the Caucasus Mountains, centuries later. All right. And say unto you, Edomites, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. This is why everybody's coming against you, a so-called white man. In case you're wondering, the Lord is against you. I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So what he's doing is he's versing the culture of sabotage. All right, by you lying about everyone else, sabotaging everything, and then declaring yourself, superior, when the fact of the matter is you are inferior. I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, and I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, you still shedding our blood, you still graping us, you still oppressing us, you still locking us up, using your race-baited soldiers, whether it be ICE or the police, to shoot our people down unarmed. Okay? By the force of the sword, the gun is the modern day sword. In their time of calamity, in the time of their iniquity, was at an end. All right. So when our iniquity ended, our punishment of slavery ended, you forwarded the punishment. You made it worse. It got worse for us after slavery, because during slavery, our brothers and sisters had a value. So you made their lives miserable, but you didn't always kill them. You kept them alive. After slavery, you went all the way in. All right, with your picnics, pick a nigga, where the whole city would come out to mistreat murder and torture people to death, and then eat their bodies in some cases. You literally were eating us. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. It's going to always be an Edomite bleeding their life force out of them. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and will cut it off, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Right? So every time one of you leave safety, you're going to get cut down. When you return, you're going to get cut down. There's no escape for you. I will fill his mountains with his blood, meaning his countries, his governments, with his slain men in thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers, and they shall and shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Just saw a thing yesterday with 73 of those what's the name of that company? The brother Yahweh Zahar Yahweh sent it to me. One of those farming companies that just does the farming equipment. It shut down 73 of his stores, man. So he's making you most desolate. So as you fall, as you lose your cities and your strongholds, all turning into meth strongholds and a bunch of drugged out hillbilly ass Appalachian Mountain sister fucking, grapists, murderers want to hang somebody that's got melanin in their skin ass. All right. Shame is covering you Edomites, man, and it's a beautiful thing. And I say that with nothing but pure hatred. But that's okay, because the Lord said to hate the wicked, and you are the wicked. The Lord hates you. Yes. Christianism has lied. The Lord don't love everybody. He hates Esau, Edom. He doesn't hate, I hate the sin, not the people. That's a lie. That's not scriptural at all. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. These damn pale pieces of shit can't go down fast enough. Shalom, Abba Ball.